So as long as they keep printing money, as long as inflation keeps going, because we live in a debt-based system, we live in an inflationary monetary system. By design, Bitcoin's going to go up forever, and it's going to go up faster than the rate of inflation. So you're going to be getting richer forever. All right. As soon as we get off of a fiat standard, as soon as we get off of an inflationary standard, what other standard are they going to go to? They're going to go to a Bitcoin standard. So Bitcoin is hope for the future. Bitcoin is your way out of the matrix, so to speak, right? As a mass, people are really slow to make changes like that, to shake up the world order, to shake up the status quo, because people don't like change. So they'll do a lot to fight against it. So things will stay the same for longer than you might think. But that means that you have more time to do what you have to do to prepare. You have more time to stack. You have more time to educate yourself. You have more time to get ready, right? And that's not just about Bitcoin and money. That's about everything. So again, it's going to be a little bit slower than people think, but maybe a decade and a half, will be right around where people think we're going in about 2 years, right? It's not going to happen in 2 years. It's going to take about 15 years. This was like the internet in like the late 90s. Right. Mid to late 90s. So if you were to take the internet from, 1995 and then move forward to like 2010, the internet was way bigger by that time, right? It was super mainstream at that point. So I feel like that's where we are right now. We're in 1995 for Bitcoin.
And it's a good point, because I think the main problem is that people cannot see what they cannot imagine, and sorry, the other way around. They cannot imagine what they cannot see. With the internet in 1995, what did you had? Like, I think Amazon started around that time, so like you had very small things, but also only a few people actually saw that. You had some messaging things going on, maybe, but very different. And then could you have imagined what right now ChatGPT is bringing to us every day? Of like, imagine you being in 1995 and someone tells you, oh yeah, like in 30 years, you will be speaking to the computer and he will be doing everything for you, and you can literally look up everything, which sounds so normal. Like it doesn't sound like innovation when I say it out loud now.
These AI agents are going to be transacting with each other using Bitcoin. And I think you actually had it right the first time when you said people cannot see what they can't imagine, right? They literally cannot imagine some of the things that haven't been invented yet. So yeah, they can't see it. They literally cannot see what they can't imagine. Someone else is going to imagine it first, and then they're going to build it. Then that person who could not even think of that, they couldn't even conceive that, then they'll see it, and then it'll be obvious. But there's so many things that are being built on Bitcoin, that are being built and integrated into Bitcoin, that we think are cool today, but we won't even be able to imagine some of the things that we're able to do in the future, right? Right now, they're completely invisible to us. And that's when some sort of great inventor, some great thinker, some visionary is going to create their product. And then it's going to be amazing, right? It's going to be something that we feel like, oh, we can't live without this. And that's what the people at River are doing. That's what the people at Strategy are trying to do. That's what the people at Swan are trying to do. That's what Jack Mallers at Strike is trying to do. We're all trying to make things that no one else can even imagine at the moment. Yeah, no, retail is not here. Retail's gone. Retail might not be coming back, right? Because again, the blow off tops is what drags retail in. That's what gets them so excited about Bitcoin. And the days of blow off tops might be over. I don't think so. Right. I don't think so. I think it's just been a while since it's happened. And because of, law of large numbers, it's a lot easier to go from 1 to 100 than it is to go from 100,000 to 1 million, right? There's a lot of space in between 100,000 and 1 million. So it's harder to move that needle. But those blow off tops, those crazy runs, I remember back in like the early days, 2019, we were seeing those crazy double-digit days. Double-digit green days, double-digit red days, those days are pretty much gone, right? And it's hard to make people care, especially when it's not as exciting, right? It's not the most interesting thing in the world anymore. Well, Bitcoin is still the most interesting thing in the world, but when it comes to the volatility, the percentage moves, right? That's not the most interesting thing anymore. So unless that comes back, retail probably is not coming back, even though they're the ones who need to be here right now because Wall Street's here, the ETFs are here, the banks are here, the countries are here. They know what's going on because they're thinking long term and they're accumulating. So there's that. And then when it comes to the price action, people being bearish, it's because typically, we have all these different memes. Uptober is coming up. We have typically green months going into quarter 4 of a after a halving year, this is typically where we get those massive run-ups, and they're trying to base the future performance of Bitcoin off the past performance, and it's just not excelling the way that the past performance was. So that's why people are just kind of bored. They're getting rocked to sleep. And if we are being honest, Bitcoin has been between 80,000 and 120,000 for, like you said, maybe like the better part of a year now. So I've been running knots on my computer for a long time because Core didn't work for me. I tried downloading like Core 26 or something like that. It didn't work for me. And I just downloaded knots, right? And then after seeing all this different stuff, I set my filters a certain way just because, I don't want to be relaying the spam. I want to try to stop spam as best I can. So some people will watch this and they say, well, the spam filters don't actually work. You're not stopping anything. Well, I mean, what are we going to do? We got to at least try. So I think one way to try to put it would be in school, they try putting filters on computers. So that way you're not like kids, like, elementary school kids aren't looking at certain things. They're not on websites they shouldn't be on, or they're not goofing off in school. The filters are very minimal, right? They're pretty easy to circumvent. So you could say that the filters don't actually work, but it's the whole point of trying, right? Well, we don't want to just have all the bad websites as easily available as you can make them, right? We don't want kids just playing Minecraft all day on the computer. We want to try to at least block it in some way. We want to at least try, you're at least trying. It seems like the opposite of that is not trying at all. I feel like that's not the stance you should take.
Thank you for watching this video. This was only a snippet of the podcast. And if you want to watch the full episode and get all of the context of this episode, you can click right here or here. Oh, maybe also here.